and a very warm welcome to the latest session of the iGlobal Living Bridge Conversations live series. I'm Reena Ranger and I'm your host for this afternoon. I'll be talking with British Indian singer, songwriter Navin Kundra on iGlobalnews.com. Navin is a British Indian songwriter who composes and writes and performs his songs in Hindi and Punjabi. He has 6 #1 singles in the Asians charts. He's won numerous awards and accolades, including being a Guinness Book of World Records holder. He's performed before royalty and 60,000 people at Wembley, including the Prime Minister of India. Hello, Navin.
Hi.
Hello, Navin. And how are you today?
I'm really good, thank you. Thanks so much for having me here. This is absolutely wonderful. And yeah, I somehow was not expecting this to fall slap bang in the middle of my rehearsals, and it somehow has done. But it's always worth taking time out to speak with you and to be here for the Living Bridge Conversations with iGlobal. Thank you so much.
Delighted to have you here. So I guess we should start with, what started your musical journey?
What started my musical journey? I think it's just a passion and a love for music. I kind of found out much later in life that my father used to sing to me whilst I was still developing inside my mum's stomach, and he used to sing, like he used to kind of, and I guess musically that must be in my system somewhere. I just started to listen to, we always had music in the house. We always had Bollywood music, English music, American, instrumental, and I loved it. And my grandfather was very musical, and then he taught my father how to play the piano, and then my father taught me how to play the piano, and I kind of ran with it. And then Dad was like, you sing, like you play really well, why don't you try singing along? And I did. And then I was sort of in tune and really enjoyed it. And everyone was like, you've got a really good voice, you should do this. And I love music. So that's kind of, I think that's how it all started. And then obviously there are talent shows and lots of karaoke competitions and all of those platforms to try and get on and perform and be discovered. And now here I am before you. So something has worked out.
And now talent who was rightly discovered. So you're born and brought up in the United Kingdom, and what made you choose Punjabi or Hindi as your language of songwriting and singing as opposed to maybe English?
That's a really good question. So I think I just find that having listened to so much music from India, I feel like the soul and the depth that you get in the Hindi and Urdu and Punjabi languages it just feels that extra layer deeper. It just has a bit more, I don't know, an extra level of sentiment that I think we all really connect with, we all really understand. Having said that, I sing in English, Hindi, Punjabi, and Urdu. Like, I can't actually decide between all of them, which is why I do all of them. Everyone asks, which is your favorite? And I'm like, well, if I could decide, I'll just stick to one. But I love it all. And, I think now with the generation that we are and with the way the world is, I have found that the audience actually likes that mixture. Everyone kind of, it's nice to be multicultural in that way. It's nice to be able to connect with different audiences. In fact, I'm doing a concert just in a couple of days' time in my hometown in Coventry. And because Coventry is UK City of Culture this year, we're going to have such a mixed audience. And I'm going to be singing like Hindi and Punjabi and some English to all of them. So there'll be something that, they will understand some of it. They won't understand a lot of it, but music is a feeling, it's an emotion. And whether you understand it or not, it can still move you in so many ways. And that's what I kind of use music for, as a way to connect with people.
I think you're right. They're very romantic languages, and some of the words in Urdu or Punjabi or Hindi are so beautiful. But I'm also quite aware that home Hindi or home Punjabi is very different from the spoken romantic Hindi and Punjabi you have. So did you grow up speaking very romantic languages, or did you have to learn Hindi, Punjabi, and Urdu for songs and romance?
Yes, that's really interesting you say that, because if you take have you ever taken a really romantic, a beautiful Hindi song and tried to translate it in English? And then when you try and explain to someone, it's like the whole meaning of the song, it just sounds awful. It just does not translate or work, because you kind of suck the soul out of the song, because it's all in that language and the beauty of that language, the nuance of it. So funnily enough, I grew up just speaking English. No Hindi, no Punjabi. I mean, all of that stuff I've learned through movies and through like that kind of music. And I guess that might have also fed into my decision to kind of write and sing songs in those languages, because through music I've kind of discovered my roots, and I've discovered my mother tongue and my motherland in many ways. So yeah, we don't speak Punjabi or Hindi at home. The closest we get, closest we used to get to it was I would speak, my grandparents would speak to me in Punjabi and I'd answer in English. And that's really interesting, because in some ways, like a lot of people look at it and say, well, you should be able to speak your own language. And my grandfather had this really interesting philosophy, which was like, we're in this country now, like you need to be really good with this language. You need to be very kind of fluent and have a good grasp of it, because this is where we're going to progress. And I guess that's kind of where it's why I don't really speak those languages. Although I can, if I spent a couple of weeks out in India, I'd be picking up, no problem.
I think you a cup of tea in one of the most romantic and beautiful ways by using some of the lyrics of your songs. You have performed in the UK, you performed in India, you performed all sorts of places, and you performed in front of royalty, as we said, 60,000 people, Wembley. Do you have different vibes, or how do you feel when you perform in the UK versus India? Does it feel different to you? Does it feel different to perform in a small crowd or for a whole city of culture?
Yeah, I've never performed in India, but I've performed in most other parts of the world. And like I say, I use music as a means to connect with an audience. And most music connects, people react to music very similarly. Like that you'll be surprised. It doesn't matter whether I'm here or in America or out in kind of the Middle East or South Africa, out in Europe. People respond in a very similar way. They all have their own experience, their own interpretation of the songs, but you start to realize that we're actually quite similar. When you take the language element out of it, what musically moves people is the same. And for me, whenever I step out on stage, I think I usually walk out with this in my mind, that this is my first and could be my last performance ever. And I have no idea who is sat in the audience with me. So I always think, the way I prepare is I think the original singers of these songs, they're sat in the audience, or they are present somewhere in this space wherever I'm performing. And that usually makes me feel extra nervous, but also kind of grounds me, makes me feel excited to be able to perform for the crowd. Gurdas Manji, when I met him, he said something really beautiful to me. He said, God sees through the windows which are the eyes of your audience. And so I was like, wow, that was really, really, that's such a prolific and profound thought. And that's how he sees the world. And so, you are really doing God's work when you're up on stage and you're entertaining people. And that's what it's about. So, yeah, my approach doesn't change much. I'm still as energetic, still as excited. It still means so much to me as if I'm performing for the very first time. And I'm grateful that I have an audience that comes to the shows and they discover me. It's still brand new to them. I'm always trying new things. And I think now more than anything, my shows are about showing the audience their greatness. Because I feel like in life, sometimes we get a little lost. We get a bit caught up with the stresses and the worries and our journeys. You need to decompress. You need an escape. You need something to just let your emotions out. And that's what I strive to do with my music.
What a fantastic philosophy. I should have told people, please add your comments, your questions for Navin in the box below, and we'll read them out as we do. You just said something, so profound, that every time you go out, you're performing as if it's your first or last time. You're giving it your all. And unfortunately, we saw not that long ago, the pandemic shut down the music industry. It took a whole huge toll on the performing arts industry. And you were not singing live for, I think, the best part of a year and a half almost. Tell us how you found that whole time to do what you naturally do, which is find so many people, and literally everyone's locked at home, and how you adapted.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very difficult. I just couldn't believe what was happening. I was like, how is the world shutting down in such a fast, vast way? And it's not just here, it's not just in specific places, it's everywhere. And all of a sudden, everything came to a halt. So I know I must have had about 50 odd dates booked for that whole year. And all of those shows, they all got cancelled. All of the events just got postponed because we didn't think it was going to last so long. And then we realized how long it was lasting. And I just remember watching the news and the sentiment being so down, so negative, and so the outlook just, it really did make me feel like there is a really big dark cloud over us. And that was when, I mean, I wasn't on stage performing for all of my audience like I usually do, but I made a commitment, which was to everyone, really, to everyone that wants some sort of light or some happiness and outlet, that I would go online every week and sing for them. I created this show called Saturday Night Live every Saturday night, because that's kind of party time. I was like, right, we're going to have a show. I'm going to discover new talent. I'm going to sing for everyone for about an hour and a half. I'm going to interview some guests, and we are going to do this. And it's completely free. I want everyone to come on, and there'll be something for everyone. It has been the most amazing journey doing that. I mean, I must have sung over 500 songs live for everyone. I learnt and sung that many songs, which is quite a task. But the audience was from all over the world, and that's what was so magical. And in a way, I'm there to serve my audience, and that was such a beautiful way to get through that time. And the messages and the love and the respect that I received as a result of doing that is, but it's a time that I would never really forget. I don't think our audience will forget it either, because we really created quite an intimate bond that probably we wouldn't have had it not been for that. So I always feel like there's something positive that comes out of these things. And I know even now it's still a bit of a concern, especially as the world opens up again and we have events going on, and we have, everyone wants to get back together again. We need that energy. We are social creatures. We're designed to interact with each other. I mean, this is lovely, Reena, but if me and you were in a room and we were having the same conversation, all of that stuff would be completely different, as we have done many times before.
Animated a lot louder. But I think you're right. It was very dark, a very dark time, and things like what you had created and were putting out there every Saturday, they were these little gems of light, and they were so much fun. And I remember watching them in lockdown, and everybody sitting down, and even if it's on your phone or your iPad or your computer, and I think you brought some joy at a time of great uncertainty to a lot of people, and I think it was a phenomenal thing for you to do.
Thank you.
It occurs to me that your songs, you said 500 in lockdown, your songs are the soundtrack of people's lives. The special moments that they have, the surreal moments that they have. It's played on the backdrop of a Navin Kundra song. When you have your romantic moment with your special someone, what song is playing in the background for you? What is your favorite song?
I don't think you want to know. It's amazing what you just said, because I forget that sometimes, and then I'm reminded when I get sent a video of someone doing their first dance and it's my song that's playing, or someone proposed using one of my. Wow, these are real life-changing moments. They're not going to forget that. for me, I mean, I listen to all kinds of stuff. Depends what mood we're in. Very rarely do I play one of my own songs in the background, because it's just weird, because like, you know, when I listen to my own music, I'm listening to it from a creator's point of view, like from a, oh, I could have done that, I could have done this to that. It's, you know, for me, a song is never really finished. So I listen to everything and anything. I mean, I love romantic music. I'm a romantic person at heart. So I love soulful songs. I love, like, for example, the latest Arjit Singh music. I love his voice. Sonu Nigam ji is a massive inspiration for me. All the greats, Kishore Kumar, Muhammad Rafi Saab. And they're so romantic and so deep. So it's like, what was I listening to the other day? हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते, मगर जी नहीं सकते तुम्हारे बिना, हमें तुमसे प्यार. Just a few lines of something I was listening to the other day. So it depends whatever mood, you know. That's the beauty of music. There's a song for everything, a song for every mood and every vibe. And yeah, what about you? What do you listen to when you're with your?
I go through these of great romantic songs, great mellow songs, and then you can never beat a bit of soft rock. So, you know, all sorts of things for all sorts of times.
I didn't have you down as a.
Oh, I do love a bit. You know, the song that won the Eurovision when I got song contest, we were watching that. I thought that one should win, and it did.
Wow.
I obviously, clearly, you're a fan. You're a fan of a lot of people. But before I ask you about the people you admire, I know that your fans mean so much to you. You really love your fans. What is your favorite fan story?
Oh,
iEntertainment is brought to you by iGlobal for all the latest film and series reviews, starry interviews and cinema listings covering Bollywood and beyond to reflect a truly pan-Indian entertainment spectrum. Check out the latest at iglobalnews.com. iCommunity shines a light on the wide array of community news.
I think we went to a break, but we're back again. So
okay.
I was asking you about your fans and how much you.
Yeah.
What is your favorite fan story?
There are so many, from fans flying, you know, thousands of miles abroad to come and be with me on special moments, like my first concert. There's a fan of mine called Simran Silva, who's based in America, and she just, you know, as soon as I announced my first, my debut concert, she booked a flight over from America, flew all the way down, hotel, and that's such a big deal for her to arrange, you know. That's dedication. That's really, really sweet. I think the one story that really stands out to me is when I got a call from this woman, and she said, I won't take the name, but she said, look, my daughter is in a coma in hospital. She's really unwell. We are trying everything to get through to her. And the only thing that she is responding to, there's only one thing, and that's your song, Mehbooba.
Oh, wow.
So when they see, like, she was kind of, you know, she was moving, you could see her fingers switching, they could see that. They said, look, would you be able to come or maybe send a message or something? I was abroad at the time, so but I recorded a video message with my voice. I sang a few lines live for her, and they didn't think she was going to make it. It's very scary. You can imagine that for any parent. Like, it's so scary. But I'm pleased to say she's alive. She is well. I've seen her since. She's come to the shows, and I do believe that music has the power to heal. I do believe that music is medicine. My mum always wanted me to become a doctor, and I say, well, in a way, mum, I kind of am, because, you know, I kind of give life in a very different way, not through pills, but through music. And you know, that's to my heart.
Talking about, you know, being the soundtrack to people's lives, that's phenomenal. So you are a fan. You've mentioned a few of the people you're a fan of. If you had the choice of singing with anybody living past, who would it be? Who would it be for you? to do a
Ah,
duet or a rock
yes.
band?
So I would love to, like right now, I would love to do a song with Bruno Mars. I think he's phenomenal. For me, he embodies like this whole mix of Michael Jackson and James Brown, which I really love. Like I love all the Motown greats, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, all of those guys. And then on the Indian side and the Bollywood side, it would be a dream to work with Sonu Nigam ji. He's one of my absolute inspirations. A.R. Rahman, he is, you know, what a phenomenal guy. The achievements that he has, that he's made. It's so it's a wish list, and the thing is, I somehow believe that it will happen because most of the stuff that I have wished for or wanted to happen has somehow happened. And then there's a whole bunch of extra stuff that I never really thought about, like performing for the royal family or breaking Guinness World Record. None of that really happened. So I kind of, none of that was what I dreamt of, but it just happened. So yeah, never say never.
I love your life advice. I mean, never say never is a great one. Perform like each time is your first and last. But you said, look after the art and the art will look after you. What other great wisdom do you have for the next generation?
I think that is the wisdom. I think also, you know, having this immense appreciation for what you do have and focusing on that as opposed to what you don't have, and looking at what other people have that you don't. I think not doing, like, just being focused on your journey. And when I say that, I don't mean it selfishly. I mean it in the sense of your journey is about how much impact you can make on other people's lives, whether it's your loved ones, your family, your friends, or you know, or beyond that. And I kind of feel that this attitude of gratitude is a really powerful thing that a lot of people miss, because it's so easy to be sucked into the world of social media and actually envy, or, you know, this feeling of not being worthy because you're looking at everyone else's kind of, you know, highlight reel and comparing that with your reality. Their lives aren't as good as they look, to be honest. And if they are, it's only because their mindset is a mindset of gratitude and they are working on themselves. And I believe you can be whatever you want to be. I believe that the world is, like, this whole universe is created for you to be able to manifest anything that you put out into it, anything that you think. So that, you know, that's sort of my philosophy. Yeah.
It's really powerful.
iCommunity shines a light on the wide array of community news, arts and culture, and prolific charity efforts within the Asian Diaspora networks. It's where the global Indian impact on the ground is celebrated. Log on at iglobalnews.com.
Oh, we're back. Hafsa is asking we disappear, we come back. A few lines of Bruno Mars. So before we say goodbye to you, I just want to say thank you so much. It's been a delight speaking to you today. And you are the one, the only, the man who needs little introduction, Navin Kundra.
Oh, that's so kind. Just before I do that, Reena, you know, you do, you run Women Empowered, and you have some amazing wisdom. Like, what's the one piece of advice that you also would like to share?
Oh my!
You can, or like just one. I know we're short of time, but I'd be really interested.
It's not, but that's the thing, that I believe that everybody you come across in your life has something to teach you, who you want to be, who you don't want to be, what you should behave like, what you shouldn't behave like. So every time we do a Women Empowered event, I listen to the speakers and I scribble prolifically, because they all have at least one nugget of wisdom. So things can seem insurmountable, but if you do one thing to that, one task to that thing every day, in a week you've done 7 things, in a day it's 30, and in a month, sorry, it's 30, and you're almost there. There's so many. I feel like whipping out my notebook, but you listen to these stories of resilience, of just people doing extraordinary things, and you realize that there is that attitude of never giving up, and I think failure is just a dress rehearsal for success is also a very good one.
That's what I wanted to hear. Come on.
And,
Just
you know,
because I'm enjoying the moment, that's amazing.
And
So
if you
good.
fail, you know, at least you're trying, and at some point you're going to be winning. So it's all those things you're saying. You know, take a chance, do your best by everything that you do. And there is a Hindi saying or Punjabi saying, which I never do justice to, but you can't hold a rising sun down. Everybody will see it shine at some point. So there are. We should get the right wisdom. We should do a wisdom thing, and you could sing it far better than I can say it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
See, Dipali's saying you were definitely positive energy on a Saturday night. Your shining light touched so many people during lockdown. So let's end with a few words from Bruno Mars via Navin Kundra.
Okay, Hafsa, this one's for you, and Reena, this is for you as well. Oh, her eyes make the stars look like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. 'Cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. There you go. You are amazing.
You're amazing too. And Navin, if anybody wants to, are all your lockdown lives on playback anywhere?
They're all available. They're on YouTube. They're on Facebook. They're online. I mean, we've had over 1 million views. Thanks to all your love. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's at Navin Kundra everywhere. My first live concert since the pandemic is happening this Thursday in the City of Culture, Coventry. Come and check it out. It's going to be an explosion. It's going to be so special. It's a real.
How do people find out more how to book and come along?
Yeah, so basically just go on to facebook.com/Navin Kundra, or you could go to the Belgrade Theatre website, which is where the concert's happening. I would love to see as many of you there as possible, because we're going to pack this whole place full of energy, and we're gonna raise the roof. It's going to be awesome. What a way to come back after lockdown. I'm so excited.
Just for Diwali as well, so all fantastic. We're going to start the festivities off with a positive bang. Lovely to speak to you, and good luck. And if you are like me, Google Navin Kundra. There it is, one of the first songs that come up. And if you get stuck, such a beautiful song. Look after yourself, Navin. Thank you very much.
You and to all of the viewers. See you soon. Bye.
See you. Bye.
iGlobal Radio is the brand new hub of podcasts for and about global Indians. News, views, interviews, wellness, money matters, and much, much more. Tune in to iGlobal Radio at iglobalnews.com.